5 bonus points on fantasy this week. Woo! Let's go! Chase Elliott wins the pole at Watkins Glen, and he is starting alongside his Hendrick Motorsports teammate William Byron. And Elliott, he's looking to defend that race win from last year. If you don't remember, he got his first career win at Watkins Glen last year. This year, pole so far. So far, so good for Elliott. He has been on a cold streak recently, if you did not know. It has been since, I think the first Pocono race since he's gotten a top 10. It's been a while. His best finish since then is 11th at Chicago. It's been rough. They've had wrecks. They've had mechanical failures, bad cars. It's been rough for the 9 team, so for them to finally get a pole is good for them. They need it. But it's going to be an interesting one at Watkins Glen. So we're going to talk about some of the favorites, some of the surprise qualifiers, all that stuff. I think I need to confirm this real quick, so I'm going to just pop over to practice. Yes, Alex Bowman. He was the fastest in practice 1, but he qualified 17th. That was a bit of a surprise to me. Where did he get in practice 2? He got 13th, so I would have expected him to do better, but all the other Hendrick cars did well. Byron, 2nd, Elliott, 1st, as I said. Jimmy Johnson, 8th with his new crew chief. But not a bad start for Hendrick Motorsports weekend at Watkins Glen. But if you think about it, I will talk about more teams. Don't worry. This is just, I'm already on the Hendrick, talking about Hendrick, so I'll keep it instead of going back and forth. But they've done all right at road courses in the past. Obviously, in Sonoma this year, Chase Elliott had a top 5 car. He was running really well, had a mechanical failure. Last year at the Roval, he got a top 10. He won Watkins Glen. He got a top 5 at Sonoma. So he in the 9 car has done very well over the last 2 years in these road courses. William Byron has shown improvement. I think he got a top 10 at Watkins Glen last year. He won a stage at Sonoma earlier this year to get some points. I think he got the pole at that race. Yeah, he got the pole at that race. And then, obviously, today, qualifying 2nd. So, another big opportunity for William Byron. Can he get his first career win, just like his teammate Chase Elliott did a year ago? That's a big question. It'll be interesting to see how he does. Byron has been doing really well in qualifying this year compared to last year. So I hope that he can do well. And then Jimmy Johnson, his new crew chief, he has never... Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion, has never won at Watkins Glen. So that would make a heck of a storyline if he could win in his first week with his new crew chief. And that it would be at Watkins Glen, a track he's never won at. But some other favorites for this race. Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. If you remember, Kyle Busch, last year, he had one of the fastest cars and had a winning race car for sure. Him, Truex, and Elliott, they were the head of the field. They were something else. But Kyle Busch, he had an issue with the inserting of the fuel. I don't know what it was, but they had to come back down pit road. They restarted like 30 seconds, still finished 3rd. That's pretty freaking impressive. But they had that issue last year, so they're looking for some redemption. Martin Truex Jr., he was on the tail of Chase Elliott, if you remember that last lap. Ran out of fuel. He didn't get an opportunity to try to move Elliott out of the way or try to pass him on those last 2 corners, so he's looking for some redemption. So you got 2 guys looking for redemption, and you got Chase Elliott trying to defend his race win at Watkins Glen. You also got Kyle Larson, who's starting 5th. He is looking for his first one of the season, and he's really good at qualifying well on road courses, but he has struggled to show the results. He has another good qualifying session here today, but can he actually run well in the race? Man, I hope he can. I remember in 2016, I was at the Watkins Glen race. He was running 6th or something. He got wrecked by Allmendinger, so that hurt him. He was having a really good run that day, but obviously he's going to have a good run today, not just because of where he's starting, but his points position. So he's going to need a good run. Some surprise qualifiers was Michael McDowell. He qualified 11th. He's a road racer. He's in my fantasy lineup, I think. He might be. But he is pretty good at road racing. So if you want to get a usage out of someone you don't use a lot, use Michael McDowell. Put him in there. He could be a shocker. He really could. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is another one. He's starting 12th. I didn't see that one coming. But as for the strategy of the race, it is a road course, almost 2.5 miles. The stages are 20 laps. The fuel window, I think, is like 30. So they will not have to pit during the stages. But strategy, I expect, like last year, to be played. I expect certain guys to pit for track position after stage 1, and the guys who need points. So, like, for example, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Michael McDowell, Eric Jones, Clint Boyer, those guys, I expect them to stay out to try to get some stage points, considering the position they are in. Obviously, McDowell probably needing a win, but Stenhouse, it's a long shot for him to make it in on points, but he will need the points. So I expect some of those guys to stay out, go for the points. I don't know if Chase Elliott will give up a stage 1. A playoff point is very crucial, and he does not have a lot of them. He only has 7. So I don't know if he's going to go for it, if he's going to go for track position. I don't know. Same thing for stage 2. It's a big toss-up. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. I expect it to be very similar to Sonoma in that we'll see a split decision on who stays out and who decides to go and win a stage and get some points. As for my race pick, all right, it's not Chase Elliott. All right, Elliott is a very fast car. He was the fastest in second practice, I believe. Yes, he was. And he was also one of the fastest in the first practice. So he has a very fast car, just like last year. Last year, if you remember, fastest in one of the practices. He had the fastest car in the first round of qualifying and third fastest because he had a slip-up coming out of 7, I believe, last year. And he ends up dominating or leading the most laps and winning the race, winning a stage. But I would not be surprised if he won. But the way their luck has been this year or this past month or so, it's hard to pick them. But then again, looking at their history with the road courses recently, it's hard not to pick them. But I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. I see a really good redemption story there from last year. Obviously, you guys are going to hate that. But Kyle Busch is a very fast car yet again at a road course. He knows how to get it done at Watkins Glen. He knows how to get it done on these road courses. Same thing for the guy starting behind him, Martin Truex Jr. But I'd say the 3 favorites are going to be Truex, Kyle Busch, and Elliott. So I'd say those 3 have the best shots to win. But I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch gets it done at the Watkins Glens. So tell me who you think is going to win in the comments. Tell me if you think it's going to be a fuel mileage race, if you think it's going to be an overtime race, if you think something crazy is going to happen. It's going to be a great finish like the Xfinity race today. But just let me know. So Chase Elliott, hopefully he can get out of this crappy streak. Byron, can he get his first win? Can Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. redeem themselves from the race last year? Can Kyle Larson lock himself into the playoffs with a win? There's a lot of questions out there, but getting to that playoff cutoff line, it is getting close. So some of these guys need points. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, leave a big fat like. If you would like to subscribe, please subscribe. That would be amazing.